Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander. And today we have another episode in our card spotlight series in which I highlight a card that I think deserves more attention in the Commander format. But before that, just a quick reminder to please click subscribe if you enjoy these videos. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers and it means the world to me. Much appreciated. And today we're going to be talking about Thrilling Encore. And if you don't know what Thrilling Encore is, for 4 colorless and 1 black, it's an instant that says, put onto the battlefield under your control all creature cards in all graveyards that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Now this is a card that I was surprised to find out recently only sees play in 1% of all black decks. And this really surprised me because things have to go really badly with this card for you not to get 5 mana's worth out of it. And you're most likely going to get exponentially more than that, in the range of like 20 or 30 mana. The ceiling is very high on this card and the floor honestly is very high as well, because here's the thing. If you play this in a turn where somebody's attacked someone else and their creatures have traded off, or you play it in a turn where there's been a removal spell, you may be getting 1 or 2 creatures out of it, which is perfectly fine for 5 mana. But the reason this is much better than that is that most of the time you're going to use it after a big board wipe. You're going to keep this in hand, you're going to wait until somebody wipes the board, or you're going to wipe the board yourself, and then you're going to pay 5 mana for this, and it may vary from puts you massively in the lead to basically wins you the game on the spot, but both of those are pretty good. So the key thing here is that getting all of the creatures that died, including your opponents, is a huge swing, particularly at instant speed. This would already be decent, I think, at sorcery speed, but at instant it just makes it so much better. Now the downside is that normally you can't really control what creatures you're getting off of this if you're responding to a board wipe, but that is easily mitigated by running your own board wipes and removal, which you should be doing in a black deck anyway. Once you do that, this just becomes absolutely amazing. It's obviously much stronger in decks that are looking to actively remove their opponent's creatures. For example, my Negan deck, which I recently talked about, really likes this card because you're making people sacrifice all the time, which means that you're going to be very easy to hit 2 or 3 things with this and get a massive swing, because at that point you're paying like 5 mana, but you're probably getting like 12 mana worth of creatures or something, which is ridiculous. The decks where this is particularly good are decks that are running Toxic Deluge. This card lets you wipe the board for super cheap. It costs you almost nothing to play, and then you immediately get all of those creatures right back under your control, which is incredibly solid. It also fits incredibly well in any deck that is looking to steal opponents' creatures. For example, in Mind Flayer the Shadow decks, this is one of the best cards in the deck, because suddenly you can get a ton of permanents from your opponents for just 1 spell, which is going to turn on your commander and make it a pain to be dealt with. There are plenty of other decks where this can really shine, but honestly the key takeaway is that this doesn't really need much build around at all. It's a great finisher and can turn a loss into a win super fast. Even if you're just using it as something like a flawless maneuver to keep your creatures alive, that's still pretty decent. It's a couple mana too expensive, but you know, if you're keeping your board alive and it's going to win you the game, that's pretty solid. But there's just so many situations where it's massively more than that I think this card should see a lot more play in the format. If you haven't played this yet, really consider giving it a spin, because honestly it's just so strong and unbelievably powerful, and it feels so fun when you get to respond to a board wipe with this card. So there you have it. That has been our card spotlight for today. What are your thoughts on this card? Let me know in the comment section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care. Woo!